Beverly and Becky here. Debbie Martin
Here.
and Erica. Haley
Here.
and Cecilia. And then Steve is here. And Jim.
Here.
Hey, you get a shout out there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And Joanna are at the table. We have our directors, Anita, Gabby, Amy, and Alicia, and Lauren's on her way. We have a visitor. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Captions,
Okay.
and I'm just a member of the community.
Okay. We do have a sign-in sheet if you would like to see.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Okay. So we'll now call the meeting to order, and we have everybody here, which is wonderful, and we're glad to be here, glad to get started. I am looking for a motion to approve the agenda. One thing I need to do in Portland and Westmoreland, and that was from Lauren being on maternity leave, but Lauren's coming, so if you want to amend the agenda to where Lauren will give her own report, I would appreciate a motion to amend the agenda to that effect.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, so we have a second. Debbie Martin second. All in favor of approving the agenda with this amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Anybody opposed? Okay, we'll move on. This is the time for public recognition. We're so glad you're here. If you do want to speak, you can sign up and speak to us, or if not, we're glad you're interested in what's going on. Okay. The next thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from July the 12th, 2023, and August the 9th, which was a special call meeting of 2023. I have one copy. If somebody doesn't have a copy with them,
Oh, I can just email.
I have the copies of the last meeting, if I don't need copies.
here they are. And I can put them again, I got them today. And I'm probably have another copy somewhere taken this out. Yeah, I did get pictures, and I've got it. Okay, so, after glancing at it, do I have a motion to approve both sets of minutes
So moved.
as they're submitted? Jim moves, do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, Joanna second, so, all in favor? Any opposed? Our minutes have been approved. Now, we're going to look back for just a minute at old business. We have 4 of our directors that have been accepted to the PLMI program. We are ecstatic that that's happening. So Gabby and Amy, Lauren, and Alicia are going to be devoting themselves to extensive study. They have my admiration and my sympathy because it's a very intense program. But congratulations to all of you. Moving on, the trustee training that happened yesterday. Just wanted to hit on a few things that were there. Beverly was there, Joanna was there, I was there. So that's 3 people. So that really helps with the technology grant as they look at, is the board involved? Do they, participate in those kind of things? So that's going to be a star in our crown for having that many people participate. What was your takeaway, Joanna?
Well, there was a lot of takeaways, but I think it was great to hear let me find the agenda again. The 2 gentlemen that spoke.
From CTAS.
Yeah, from CTAS. Because was it MTAS makes the problems and CTAS?
Yeah.
And that was just cities and counties tend to have a little bit
I
of
think it's funny.
competition.
So I think you said it numerous times. So anyway, so it was Ben Rogers and Wesley Robertson. Now, which one? Okay, what was the differentiation? Because I couldn't remember who was Wesley and who was Ben.
So Wesley is the bold one.
Okay, Wesley. So he oversees us in Sumner County.
Yes, he is, Ben Rogers is more on east, so he's and probably like that side, but Wesley is Sumner.
Okay.
So he's kind of the one I talk to, when we talk about libraries in our region.
Okay, which that was good to know, because I was like, oh, so, and I actually spoke with them afterwards. So, they were great. You know, I liked, you know, a year in the life of the library board. That was cool. You did great. What I heard, my biggest takeaway, what I really got away was that we are supposed to analyze policies and everything on a yearly basis. And so that was the biggest takeaway, was you got to be up to date on a yearly basis. So, yep. Yep.
Beverly?
Oh, yeah, I was so impressed with everything. I came away from there feeling like I had really learned a lot. The topics that they chose for us, I think it's going to be helpful for the board. And we have, if any of y'all that didn't get to go, we have some of the little packets that they gave us. Be glad to share it with you. Overall, I like the emphasis on, and from all the speakers, on being positive, you know, and having good faith, and working with the county commission, and working with each other, with the directors. And they just gave us a good, I took notes and different things like that, but they just gave us a good eye on how professional, I think, that everybody in this particular region, and I have to give kudos to you, because I know you had a lot of to do with that yesterday, and the food was excellent.
And I made it.
Yeah.
Oh, the food is good. It's always a highlight.
Yeah. But I did enjoy it, and I'm glad I had the privilege of going.
Yeah, the behind the scenes, you could tell there was a lot that went on behind the scenes before we actually had the meeting. So, one of my favorite takeaways is that librarians are one of the most trusted professions. And so, and it started in Massachusetts based on how did you get that data, because they're not usually included. But when they set up their own Gallup-style poll, and they included librarians in it, they finished second to nurses in most of the professions, in most of their rankings. So that was a great takeaway for me along the way. And I loved the positivity. I loved the things that they were doing. They did talk about yearly reviews on policies and evaluations and things like that that we've talked about. It's time to hit the ground and let's just do it. You know, we're going to be like Nike people. We're going to do it now. So, and I promise you that when I did this agenda, I sent it out to you 2 weeks before. Almost, I had not seen the agenda that they covered, so I was glad to see that we're going to address some of the things that they addressed with us yesterday. Anybody else? Now, Beth is takeaway too, and it's always a good takeaway. And like Joanna said, you got to talk to some of the people that were talking, and you could get into deeper conversations along the way. So it was a really good experience for everybody. Moving on to new business, we're going to talk.
Just 1 second.
Okay.
We approved the minutes, and I was just told on the 9th, Kaylee is Wilson, not Williams.
Okay.
So we just, just changed that.
Just change the name on that.
So where it says present, it's correct, but on the back page,
Okay.
she seconded a motion there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't even understand.
Well, I was typing when I was working on this, the next thing on the agenda. I'm Wilbur, and she's Wilson, and I kept getting a B instead of an S, and I have to go back and change it. So if it's Wilson, it's just because I'm so used to that going to a B instead of an S.
Thank you.
Okay.
So without objection, changing the minutes to reflect that.
Do we need to do a quick vote on that, or
Well, I mean,
I would.
if there's a,
does anybody have an objection to changing the minutes to reflect the correct spelling of her name? Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
something like that tomorrow.
Yeah.
You will be.
I will not. Spell check, you can't live with it, you can't live without it. That's exactly right. Okay, on to new business. We're gonna talk about committees because we've lost 2 members, 2 very valuable people, and we're gonna miss them. We're gonna pick up and move on, and we're gonna let it be known we do still have 3 spots, and we do need to get those filled, but we need to go ahead and get our new people on committees and then talk about what those committees are gonna do. So we're gonna get you on a committee one at a time, and then as we go down to the next one, we'll kind of, if you have questions, we'll answer. This is a little bit of housekeeping, and then at each committee, we'll just kind of affirm how they're gonna stand. They took effect in July, right? And the committees are kind of a yearly thing. However, that's not set in stone. This is a working document. So if you're on a committee and I'm twisting people's arms because of what we've lost. If you're on a committee or I've asked you to serve, I couldn't put you exactly where you wanted to go, then we can talk about that down, we can put it back on the agenda and talk about that. But we just need to get some blanks filled along the way. I have a rough draft and Kaylee and America did email me and tell me what they wanted. I was able to sort of get you on at least one of the 2 choices. So, and we'll look at it.
The annual year begins in September.
Okay, so here we
So
are.
that's, I was like, I think the new
So
one.
we can go September to September, but that's not cast in stone because you said they can move, it says they can move.
Members can resign if they would like.
Right, yeah, they can move on and on.
And a member may join a committee at any time.
Right, because if we get new ones coming in, we will need to do that.
Yeah,
Along the way.
and even us,
Yeah.
we can move
Because
around
I've
and add, be added to any,
Right.
you can be on all 4 if you want to.
I will tell you that, with the committees, Joanna, when she pulled them together, she kind of get a date that would work, a time that would work. We're real flexible, but like Hendersonville works wonderful because they've got all these rooms. We can find a spot usually there, but we are welcome at Portland or Gallatin or Westmoreland or Millersville either. So, if you're the chair of the committee and you want to go to Millersville, we can do that. I mean, those are very, very flexible. And we do try to be very accommodating. Debbie works, so we do try to think about schedules and that sort of thing when we do set. But it's a commitment. It's a commitment. So, does everybody have a copy? Did I have enough to go around?
Yeah.
And I'll share, Susie, I'll share with you if you need to.
So if we requested 2 and I'm not on the second, there is a blank there, is there a reason why I can't?
No, you can do that. I just didn't want to overwhelm you until we talked about it. So, but let's talk about policies and bylaws first. And Beverly is the chair of that committee. Joanna, that's the committee that I came off of, so I put myself back on that committee. And Jim Holcomb had requested that, so I put him there. There is a spot there, so we can talk about that. When I went from being a board member to the chair, the old bylaws said I was ex officio of all 4 committees, non-voting. Well, the new bylaws do not say that, so I can put myself on the committee and become a voting member of the committee. They also say 3 to 5 members, so that's why we stopped it at 5 now. Where before I could have 5, and I could still win there because I wasn't voting. So that changed just a little bit with the new bylaw. So with policies, Beverly's the chair, Joanna, I put myself back on that committee because I know about it. and then Jim is gonna be on that committee for us. And on the, so, I'm gonna wait on that, Steve, since you may want to, or is that one that you were thinking about, you wanted to? Yeah. So can we wait on, and do them all at once, and just affirm all of them, since we're gonna be filling in blanks?
Well, she wants to be on it. Why can't she be on it?
And because I think, was that one of the ones that you requested?
No,
to Taylor?
personnel or facilities.
Okay, I put you on facilities, because personnel was full. So I think that was, I was gonna give you the choice on that. So if you wanna go to policies and bylaws, Erica, we can do that right now.
Yeah,
And
and I'm ERIKA.
Yeah, I put C, didn't I?
Yeah.
And that, we can change that with one stroke of a pen, Erica. And it's ER, I did get the ER at the end. So-
Yes, you did.
Okay,
She's gonna be on call.
we're gonna add her to policy. Okay. Okay, now, the policies committee is set from September 1 to September first meeting till the meeting in September, unless it becomes, a strain, a inconvenience, or somebody else drops off, so, and we'll do that. So, okay, our policies and bylaws committee is set. All in favor? I need a motion to set the committee.
The policies and bylaws?
Yes,
Okay. I motion.
okay. I need a second. Beverly seconds. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The next one is budget. Okay. Jim sort of twisted, well, he sort of had an arm twister here to convince him he needed to be on the budget committee because, Diane is no longer here.
I appreciate it.
Here to serve.
Great answer.
So, and it's not on the agenda this month, letting you think about it, we will have to elect a treasurer at our next meeting, and that treasurer will be the chairman of the budget committee. So right now but budget is busy from February till the end of June. So we've got a little bit of time to do that, but that's just a heads up on the budget committee. And, it's a commitment because you have to go to the budget committee meetings with the commission. I went with Diane several times. They also have, that Debbie was there some, Anita was there some, and some of the other directors went, especially at the very beginning when they were just submitting their budget. They do schedule us in their individual hearings and all. So, it's a commitment that you're gonna have your work cut out for. You've gotta know. And Jim said he didn't like budgets, but he could spot, frauds.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna be okay. Yeah, he said, financial fraud, I can identify. I don't think that's gonna be an issue, but at least you look at the numbers and see what it is. So,
And I
if you're running for office, Jim, I think I've made my campaign speech for you.
Hey, I mentioned something else to him. When you all let the chairman, I forgot.
Chairman of what?
The whole.
May, and they take office the first of in July.
All right. I just with all the other chairmen being
Right.
for all the other committees, I just wanted to.
No. But, now that we've lost one, we do need to replace the
No, I'm talking
treasurer.
about the whole, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then the treasurer is the, chairman of the budget committee.
Okay.
Boy,
So
my
it's
best
a-
LBJ, I will not seek nor will I accept the nomination for.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that yet.
Yeah, it's just, that's my spiel, so, think about it
Really do.
and all. But, if we, 3 is okay, if somebody else wants to, I will be glad to fill in these last 2 blanks on the budget committee. I have 2 blanks, I would be glad to fill them in.
It was only 3 people last time. It was only 3 people last time.
That makes it easier than.
Maybe I should look at it.
That being said, you're all welcome to come to all of them. You don't have to be a member of the committee to come to the committee. We all have a seat at the table. So, with that being said, we all can do that. But right now, I like odd numbers. So, it's 3 to 5, we could have 4, but for right now, we can leave that. If we get new members that are interested, we can do that. Okay, so I need a nomination to set our budget committee for the moment until we get a treasurer, and then we'll drop back in fund and see what we have to do to make that happen.
I move.
You move to set the budget committee. Do I have a second? Debbie Martin, second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The next one is personnel. We are full. We already have a chairman for that one. So, I need a motion to have that committee set.
Here's the chair.
Joanna's the chair of the personnel committee.
Yeah. Vice chair, according to the new bylaws, is always going to be the chair of the personnel.
Okay.
I make a motion to set the personnel committee.
Do I have a second? Beverly seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Then the last one is facilities. Beth has been on is the only one that's been on the facility and had to do the major deal. She could tell you just a little bit about that.
This is the first time I think that we ever did this as a board. Is that, I believe that's correct. Follow
Yeah,
guidelines,
we did it a couple of years ago.
the tenancy standards for public libraries, and it has certain pages that you follow. And their recommendation is to do this once every 3 years. So we completed it last year, 2022. And I have a copy of our findings, if you want to call it that we did an overview. And there are several things on it, several things that are on it that are currently being addressed by the various libraries. But what happened with this, that through the, and you need to look, all have this book, okay? You should all have this. And if you look on pages 28 through 33.
No, I haven't messed with these.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
And I don't have
Yeah.
one. I gave mine away or something. So I have one.
Well, you need a copy of this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And, since it was new, that we're just kind of doing this ourselves, but we visited every library, and there's a list of, basically a very involved checklist that you follow. And, our libraries are great, the directors are wonderful, but there are things that are constantly being worked on, right, Debbie? Things like carpet and things like that, or roofs or whatever. So, they're continuing their process, but this is just an overview of accessibility, and it's safe, and the things that need to make it the very best facility that we can. And that was given to the chairperson, which was Ronnie Foss at the time, and they were to work, it kind of went out of the committee's hands to the chairperson's hands, to the executive director's hands. And honestly, in terms of what's being followed through with that would be something that I think as intensive as this was, and as much paperwork as it was, maybe be fine to continue the 3 year every 3 year, but look at what the findings were and study those and go with the directors and see, okay, what are we working on? What do we need to work on? Is perhaps maybe the next step to take with that.
Because that would go hand in hand with a budget act, you know.
Directors, what do y'all think? You know, that would be, but yes.
And I do not have a copy of that document.
So, that's
But
what
I think we can, I could probably ask around and see if yes.
Okay, so Gabby has it?
Uh-huh.
Are we in discussion mode? Are we in discussion?
Well, we're setting them in, yeah, so.
Okay,
we're
because
still,
I have a question about that, because, yes, I'd love to get that, because,
To be fair, we haven't done motion to second, you can discuss any other stuff.
okay, can I motion to open discussion about facilities?
Okay.
Anybody second?
Second.
Okay. So, and the reason, I definitely was thinking that we need that because the thing that happened with Gabby with the carpet that the commissioners had to get involved with this year and still involved with, I mean, have we had that?
We had pictures.
Have we had that
pictures,
fixed? Have we had that? And the new board received that, and we could have definitely taken care of that earlier before it got to the point where,
And that's
Gabby.
what happened with the,
It's a lot of turnover.
yes.
Yeah.
There we go, maybe that's right. But I have a copy of our overall, I guess, report or findings.
Okay.
I'd be more than happy for everybody to have a copy of that to see where we were back in 2022 and kind of see what's gone with that.
and you said you have pictures too?
We
You know
had,
where
all
those
that was
went?
given to the chairperson, okay? Dennis, who was on the committee, he basically put it all together and presented that gave it to the chairperson, and I don't know what happened at that point.
And Dennis was an employee in this building, he was the IT director. So he had access to a lot of buildings and things, I mean, you know,
Okay,
so,
Gabby said she has that.
okay.
you have the pictures and everything too?
So I just got here.
Okay, yeah, no worries. You don't have to do it now, but it would be good to know because also with budget committee, we need to know like what problems are happening that we might have to address in the upcoming budget. So, very important to know.
And some things, the facility committee, even though you visit every library, we didn't know there was gonna be a flood at Brazil. I mean, there's things that, you know, so much of the things that are necessary, financially are things that maybe things happen, let's put it that way. So,
Yeah, we can't control those
Yeah.
kind of things along the way. Okay, so that's an overview of the facilities. We talked a little bit about that report that was done. Do I have,
Sorry, question. So, like, it says there are several concerns that apply to most branches. Concerns include interior issues, including repair, flooring to be cleaned, repaired, and or replaced. I mean, do we know which branches that is?
I'll have to pull everything up individually, okay? But
Okay.
yes, that was all presented in the report.
Okay.
That was
yeah,
all.
this is the overview.
Okay.
That should be overview, and if you look at
Okay.
28 through 33, and to see how many checklists and everything, that was, each library
Okay.
was visited, each of that was done, each was put together, and an overview presented to the board.
Okay.
And like I said, the bulk, everything else was given as directed
Sure.
by the board chair to be able to place that with the executive director and take steps from there.
Sure. Yeah.
And with everything like we just said, that's happened, some things
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't,
Okay.
you know.
but a lot of it is happening or has happened.
And so, do you have any of the details? Or
I've got it
Okay.
somewhere.
okay. All right. I just think it'd be good for us to have as much detail as possible so we can know.
What I'm kind of, we're still discussing is like, are we good for every 3 years, or I don't think when we talk about every year, I just don't feel like this is something that policies and bylaws, you have to understand and budget and everything, but I don't know.
I
See, what do
think
you
every 3 years is probably fine, and it sounds like you're kind of still working through the one that you had. So it's, probably spending more time on that and just kind of going deeper into what you have.
I have a quick concern though, because of a flood, do we know all the problems? Because, we also, again, we didn't account for a flood. So, and since that did happen, should we at least do some type of facilities? And find out what is still needed in that area? I mean.
So are you saying like a follow-up after those repairs and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, especially since it's been a year, there's been turnover, and then also, we don't have the full report to kind of go, hey, what has been fixed, what hasn't been fixed, so that we can at least yearly know what has been checked off of it. I mean, I would think that that would be a very responsible thing, that's my opinion. What are your thoughts? So I know what to do in budget.
Yeah.
What still needs to be done?
And I totally agree that there has to be times that we go by and look at these facilities. If we don't have anything preventative, is our eyeballs one of those that can say, hey, it looks like things are happening here. Can we have some kind of little guideline or checklist that maybe once a year, maybe 18 months, maybe we don't have to say every year, but every so often go by and just sort of eyeball these things to see if that's something we need to be aware of.
And I think the directors know.
Yes, I do have
They
great
do know what's
confidence
going on in their building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is happening, because
Yeah.
I
Madam
can go.
Chairman, I just want to kind of bring it to your attention that we're discussing the composition of the committee.
I'm sorry.
I know
Oh, we're
this is-
still talking about the
We're talking about
composition.
the actual, who's going to do, as to
Yeah,
the composition. It's your meeting, but I just
Okay.
wanted to bring that to
Okay.
your attention.
So, yeah, that would be the committee could decide, you could meet and decide to do that and that sort of thing. Okay,
There's the chairman.
we don't, when they met,
I was.
okay. So, but when they meet again, they can select a chairman and that, yeah, so, and Beth, if you wanted to volunteer to be on another committee, I would take that too, but I know this
No,
is,
we just don't want it to be odd, even
Right,
numbers,
yeah.
so.
Okay.
it's just,
I hear you, I know what you're saying, so,
I could
okay.
do budget, but you need a fifth one too, so.
Okay, well,
Whatever
and if
you
we
need me to
do
do,
that fourth one, I will twist your arm like I did. Okay, facilities committee, we're gonna go with Beth and as the chairman from the last time they met, and Debbie and Kaylee. So, and y'all are still, I think we've got a really good representative, and I think you'll have a good rapport with your directors, and they can tell you, what's gonna happen. Okay. Do I have a motion to set our facilities committee?
Motion.
Okay, Kaylee Wilson makes the motion and Eric seconds. All in favor to set that committee? I need an aye. All right, any opposed? Okay, we're gonna move on next to, the bylaws and policies committee. I think everybody got the, signed agreement, a copy with that last page. Did you get, I can send it again. I know the directors, I sent it to them.
I didn't get anything.
Okay, I can send that out, because those last two pages are the words when the policies and bylaws, those are the two we have to make sure are in there.
Okay.
And, but you did get the policies and bylaws that Beverly sent out that we are under.
Can I make a,
I'm
Okay.
so confused.
Do I have a motion to get this discussion on the floor?
Motion.
Discussion about policies and bylaws. And this is
The
just
committee.
the committee, yes, to me. We've set the committee, now we're gonna talk about what they're gonna do between now and January 1st.
I thought we were just establishing the committee.
We finished that.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so
On
now
the-
we're gonna,
we're on-
where are we at?
Number 6, item B,
Okay,
okay?
so,
So do I have a motion to get it on, the discussion on the floor?
yes.
Debbie makes the motion, do I have a second? Joanna, you want a second?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So, we're discussing the bylaws and policies meeting?
No, we're not,
Because that's what it says.
yes. What I wanna make sure is that everybody has a copy of what Beverly sent out. And she's gonna set for that committee to meet, but I just need to make sure you have the information you need.
That was sent out in July or something like that? June,
So
July?
that's bylaws, this is just policies.
Oh, this big thing?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
I sent, it's like a packet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Well, I don't have that with me right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
you don't
do
have to,
that.
I'm just trying to make sure
Yes.
everybody's got
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
Yes.
Even if you're not on the committee.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
And I will send out those last 2 pages that the agreement that I signed with Cecilia.
Yeah, I don't think.
To get that the policy, you will need that. I will get that to you.
This that we had last time?
Mhm. That's it.
Okay.
So if you don't have it, let me know.
It was in the packet last.
It was in the packet from last time. Well, I signed it, you just have copies of it. I signed it. And, Okay.
Beverly, yes. Just clarification, and I wanted to thank Amy because she's really good at these policies, and undoubtedly there had been some work done before. So what I'm hoping that we can do when we meet as a committee is eliminate, because some of these they're not even relevant to us now. So I think it's gonna make it easier. So if you will, just look through those, and when we do have a committee, you are welcome to come. It's not just for the committee. But that's the most important thing, if you can take time to read through it, so we can eliminate. And that'll be a big part of our work and then get started. And that one policy, we've really got to get done.
That's what we're under, that's where a
We're under
deadline
the
is.
gun on that.
Yeah, that's where a deadline
Do
is.
we have a
So-
motion on the floor to discuss this?
Yes, we
We do.
You were talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were, it did have a teacher, it used to have, at least two, first and seconded.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We have a motion.
I think, I just, so, what is the role of the directors in this? Are they part of it?
Yeah, they have a seat at the table.
Okay,
And,
great.
Yeah.
because they're boots on the ground and they're the ones that have to make it work.
Yeah.
They're the ones that look at the people as they come in and say,
Yeah.
this is the way it needs to be. So when they do meet, you all have a seat at the table. So, but I just wanted to know, to say, this committee is gonna, it's the utmost right now. We're gonna convene, everybody's welcome to come to that committee. So, and Beverly, you'll be giving us that.
Can I clarify something?
Yeah.
And by means no disrespect, what do you mean by a seat at the table?
Well, just like everybody else, we hope that everybody will come, because actually Amy's been sending me a lot of this information, and it does affect them, probably more so than us. So I would love to have their input.
You mean
They won't be voting members,
Okay.
but they have a voice.
No.
They have
Just
seat at the table, but a voice.
Okay, and then also clarify, the bylaws and policies meeting that we're coming up, what policies are we going over? Are we going over every single library policy there is? Or are we just gonna focus in on the one that has to be done by January 1st?
My first priority is that one. I want to go ahead and get that done.
Okay.
So we can have, because I don't want to mess up our money. And then, that's why I was saying, I wish everybody would read and look and see what we could eliminate. And that way, we can push that out of the way, and let's then focus on what we need to either revise, keep, or whatever. But no, that first policy is the one that the state, that you told us about, we need to get that done. So when we meet, that's gonna be our first
So,
priority.
so my question is would you entertain us, since there are many policies, and so that we don't waste the time of the directors saying, hey, in this meeting, we'll do this policy and these 3 policies, and then if we have more time, then we'll do more. That way, you know, we know what we're focusing on for that meeting.
Well, you're the chairman.
Would you entertain that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I will do that once we
Okay.
get started. We gotta have a time first.
Well, I get
The
that.
first one, we're going to directly, work with this one policy. Make sure we've got that right. And then from there, and we can spend time at that meeting too, and also talk about which ones we want to bring up on the next one. But I'm just sort of getting a little bit ahead of it, because we got to set our time and everything.
I'm just trying to be prepared, so I was just curious, so the first one is basically you're gonna be this one, and then we'll set another date for other policies. Okay.
Yeah, and if we have time, we can look at all of them, but for right now, I really want to work on that one.
Okay. All right.
Do we need a motion to close the discussion? Okay, all right. Moving on to C, do I have a motion to discuss the calendar for 2024? Originally, this was going to be the calendar word we're going to play with a little bit. after yesterday's meeting, but I need a motion to get it on the floor.
So moved.
Okay, Jim made the motion.
Second.
Kaylee seconded. Thank you. Okay, this is September, so I'm just looking to next year because I have to submit a calendar to, get it on the website and the calendar for next year. So we meet every other month, starting January, March, May, July, September, November, and this year we set special call meetings for those odd months of the year. I'm open to, we can do that same thing again next year. And then if we don't need, it's a lot easier to schedule it and have me cancel it because I don't have to have as much of a notice to schedule it and cancel it than it is to try to get it on the calendar without it being there, because you've got to do the public notice, you've got to have the reasonable amount of time and that sort of thing. So it's easier to schedule it on the front end than it is on the back end. Joanna?
To clarify though, it wasn't special call, it's round table.
We had round table on there
Yes.
and all, but you said the bylaws don't allow for that, so we had to call them special call. Now, you told me that at one time, that the bylaws, these new bylaws, we didn't really have round table discussion. I can do it either way, because we scheduled it as a round table where we could just discuss, but most of the time we needed to convert it to a special call, and you had to have an agenda and that sort of thing.
No, what we were saying in the attendance is that we weren't gonna mandate round table
Okay,
anymore.
so that's still
So
in
we
the
can
bylaws.
still have round tables, that's something that we can, I mean,
Okay,
we don't have to call them special calls, we can have round table,
okay.
you know.
How does that work? Would they still have to be advertised?
It's a study session.
Like a
round
study
table study.
session, round table study session? Can I schedule it as a study session, then convert it to a special calls meeting if we need to?
I think it'd be a good idea to schedule as much as you need
Mhm.
in December or not in November, you can schedule.
Okay.
And you can take off what you don't need,
Okay,
so you don't have to worry about the special call issues that come along with that.
okay, so I will bring a calendar.
However you want to call it, round table or regular meeting or whatever
But-
it is.
So the thing I want to know is when I submit this to IT and all that, call it study session? Would you rather call it study session? I think that,
So you, yeah.
We have our regularly scheduled meeting.
Regular meeting, study session, set, okay.
yes, that's the way we did it this year.
You can call it whatever you want.
Okay.
I mean, are you not gonna have an agenda or anything for stuff for the study session? I mean, what do you plan on doing?
That was the intent. We didn't do that because we ended up needing it every time for a special call meeting.
I get it, but I think it'd be a good idea, it'd be wise, just to put notice of what's going on in the study sessions.
Yes,
Have some form of agenda.
Okay. Okay,
Whatever
yeah,
you
I can
call
do,
it,
I
doesn't
can do
matter,
that.
you know,
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
so the public knows what's going on.
right,
The whole idea is more information for the public, so they
right.
can.
And I can put our, and we have to have our little disclaimer on even the study session thing. So I can do that. I can, say purpose of the study session. And then when we get an agenda, if we need an agenda, we can, because those can go, the purpose goes first. So I can do that in steps.
Well, this is, if you want to treat it as a regularly scheduled meeting, you would need to have the purpose of the meeting. So if you do it, we schedule everything else in November,
Okay.
you can have to talk about whatever you want, but you would have to post some sort of agenda for it.
Okay.
Just to what you plan on discussing, like somebody gets to discuss it.
I do that. If that's the way you want to keep it. Because if we go to, and they was discussed yesterday, some meet monthly, most meet every other month. We could go to every month, but then sometimes I think if there's nothing to discuss, there's nothing to discuss. There's nothing to act on. So I think I'd rather do it this way, and we have it, and there again, I can do that. We can talk about locations. This is easy. We can get this, most of the time we can get this room if I ask for it far enough ahead of time. But like with the committee meetings, we go to the different libraries, so. Joanna?
And just to clarify, for those of you that weren't here when we were going through the bylaws, why we were saying is attendance is that at first it was like you had attendance of even the round tables, there was a certain amount. But then we decided, you know what, those are just going to be study sessions. So if it's just a study session and we're just talking about something, there's no mandatory attendance. You can come or not come. It's just at least someone will be there to talk about something that's going on in the library.
Right.
It was just a...
I understand your point. So the regular meetings will have action items.
Right.
Study sessions will have discussion items on the agenda.
Correct. Right, yes. Okay, yes. So,
Still, agendas for both regardless.
and I will not submit that until, we can come back and look at it again in November, because I won't submit it until November. So, think about it and that sort of thing. Now we're gonna play with word calendar just a little bit. Yesterday, we got an example of planning the year ahead, and Cecilia gave us a couple of calendars. The directors looked at it. They liked the idea of having it mapped out just a little bit, not, because we elect officers in May, so that can go on the May calendar, and it's going on the May agenda, because that's it. So we can look at the bylaws. September is committee. Go ahead and put those by month so you know what we're going to be doing with.
You don't like that idea?
I'm sorry, did I not see your hand? And I've got an 18 in my hand and I talk with my hand. So, pass those around and take a look at that. Was just, and this is put together by Jefferson County or Jefferson City, and it's just something to look at. I can work on that between now and November, and we can, when we can vote on the calendars and this format at that point in time. So it was just, it's a really good, especially like for the big ticket things that we know we have to deal with. We'll probably have budget items in January and February, and we may not know what those are, but we kind of know we'll deal with budget and that sort of thing. So that was the other spin on calendar. But I just wanted to put it out there and let you know that if you all like the idea of doing a regular meeting and having a study session, because we can always turn it into special call if we need. We just have the space, the time, the room, and it's advertised ahead of time. So that was where I was going with this. For that, do you like this idea of that calendar? We could do a study session in October. Put this together if you wanted to. We've got the room reserved. So we could do that if we wanted to, is bring everything together and, and it's not set in stone, but it's just stepping stones and guidelines.
It wouldn't go on this calendar, but it's like, we know when budget meetings need to take place.
Right.
We know when policies have to be done. Maybe it's like, if you're on several committees, you go, okay, these 3 months I'm going to be doing this. Not that you can't call meetings whenever you want to, but that way you're just not overwhelmed with.
It definitely makes my brain happier. I know when things.
More like a monthly guideline versus a calendar.
And there's two formats here, so we can.
Monthly guideline.
Either one, either one of those.
That makes my brain happier.
They make me happy. They make me happy.
Yeah, I mean, and it depends.
It is prettier.
What kind of learner you are. And I'm sorry, the teacher that just came out, I'll push it back down, but, it depends on how visual or how auditory you happen to be in the learning stages. But, I will work on that, and if we want to have this, we've got the room, we can do this in October. And just call it a study session. So I'll still get it posted on the bulletin board and get just a little, say, calendar and things like that. Joanne?
What I would love is because with the directors, for them to even maybe submit some stuff to to this and to let us
Oh,
know. So I just wanted to say to you, I'd love your input on what you're expecting to see from us on these months as well.
And you're welcome, you're welcome to come, bring it, and we welcome that. So I know you have things that helps, especially I know with June and the summer reading program, what a big responsibility that is. And a lot of times, I don't know, that we met in June for that reason. I think I canceled that meeting in June. We didn't meet in June because there was so much going on in summer reading. So, that's just, but we can put it on the calendar and move on. Okay. Anybody else, any more, input, suggestions? Okay, we're gonna move on to discuss yearly evaluation for directors, because that was one of the points they made. We had do I have a motion to get the discussion on the floor? Thank you, Dan.
Seconded.
Thank you, Erica. Made my living talking on my feet all the time, and I just move on. Okay, the yearly discussions, that was a very, it was driven home last time. We discussed it a lot among this body for years. We do have a piece in place, a director evaluation piece. It was put together by the personnel committee, and we were very fortunate when we put this together because Judge James Wheatcraft helped us do this. So we had a free attorney that was a member of this board that helped us put this together, this evaluation piece. It was done before they voted to go to the system, so it was designed to evaluate 5 individual library directors. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's what it was designed for. I'll share it with you and let you look at it. What I need is, after we discuss it, I would like to get a motion on the floor to get it going along the way. So you may have a copy of the piece that was voted on. And Beth, do you remember? You remember when we put it together and when we voted on it? But it was pre-COVID, I do know that, and having one director when we had 5. And we could look back in some of the records to find out exactly when that was done. So,
Sure.
yes.
Adopted on November 14, 2019.
Okay, thank you. And what we did, just FYI, and I think Celia, you helped us with this. You sent us several different copies of evaluations that different systems use, and we just took it apart and put it back together with what we thought would fit our needs. Now, on here, one of the points that was made yesterday was that the directors could write. Well, self-evaluation was one thing, but the other was a paragraph of what they need from us. So it's kind of an interactive piece that is not on here, but it's got back. I mean, that's something you can ask for along the way. But that was one. It doesn't have to be there. It was just a suggestion of an interactive piece. And then when they talked about self-assessment, and I lived through evaluations for years. The last ones I had, they actually gave us the piece that they were evaluating us, and I had to do the evaluation myself without seeing it. Took what I had to the meeting and looked at both of them. Which, if you want me self-evaluation and to go in with an evaluation, then we could do that. Any questions, Joanna?
So my concern is this is 4 years old. It was also a different personnel committee.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time I'm seeing this evaluation, and and this is something we're just getting a personnel committee together now. I've been actually looking at different evaluations because I knew this was coming up and from our certification and all that stuff. And although you had put it on the agenda, this wasn't an attachment, so I'm just looking at it right now. So I would not feel comfortable with accepting this as an evaluation, and my ask would be that the personnel committee get together and take a look at this, and that if we were to vote on this evaluation, that it not be until the next meeting so that all of us even have a chance to take a look at this. That's my comment.
Gina?
Madam Chairman, and again, this is about 4 years old. I'm wondering how many, well, this predates my time in Sumner County, but how many of our library directors are familiar with this or had any, we have anybody under 4 years?
They never,
Right.
ever,
Yeah.
and we were very close to this
Totally
growing,
get it, yeah. But I think
Yeah.
Joanna's point,
then COVID
everything is
hit.
so new,
Yeah, COVID hit,
that maybe a little pause before adoption to get input.
If we wait until November, and then we want to look at it again, we're kicking that can down, and they're still out there floundering without any kind of an evaluation. And one of the points that the girl made yesterday, the woman made, she said, I welcome evaluations. I want it done yearly, so I know what I'm doing, and I know, expectations and that sort of thing. And we've kicked it down the road for 4 years. And it's just something I think that needs to get started and needs to be done. What I'd like you to do is look at this then, and we can vote on this piece again in November, talk about it at the study session, and move on with that. But I don't want to sit back, and I don't want it to get into committee and have to be over and over and, that sort of thing. It's something we need to move with and keep going. So, Joanna.
But this is something that the personnel committee would actually put together, and we just put together a new personnel committee. So this could be the first agenda, such as her policy that we're going to be meeting on. And if we as a committee meet before November, which would give us plenty of time, we come up with something, all we have to do is give it to you guys before we meet in November. We vote on it, and then we start evaluations in January.
Yeah.
I don't see that as really anything that's really prolonging it too much farther.
If we can get that done. Jim.
Madam Chairman, I think you have a committed board to
Okay.
get this done. I don't think anyone's looking to
think
carry,
so.
but I think important new board, new directors, build this, and if anybody is taking note of my words, and somebody should be, I think an annual evaluation, it shouldn't be the only time that we're giving feedback.
Right. Oh, yeah.
To directors. And
Correct.
so,
Yeah.
so we don't need to wait for this to happen. I mean, obviously, the formal documentation needs to happen there, but it should be an ongoing conversation.
Right. And there are such a thing as walkthroughs.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always candy at Hendersonville.
Employees into the office, and that's the only way to get them to come up.
Oh, is that what it is?
I love chicken
Trail.
I love it. So
we need a motion. Well, no, because we got it on the table as a discussion.
Okay.
So, could entertain a motion to discuss this at the, in October.
Move it to old business.
Huh?
Move it to old business.
Okay, all right. But if we do it in October with the study session, we could just discuss it.
We're gonna do the committee. This is what I thought. The personnel committee is gonna take care of this. And then we're gonna present it in November.
Okay,
So that means old business.
so we'll put it under old business.
Yes.
All right, moving right along, 4:30, so I'm sorry, I apologize. Directors, I've got you, Amy, I've got you first, so we'll listen to.
Does everybody have one of these before?
It's
pretty colorless.
Okay, oh, yes, I love the fall colors.
I'm a fall girl, but I'm a fall girl, so you can tell it's one of my favorites.
For the board members, I just gave you a copy of the training that's provided as an opportunity for staff and directors from the state and the region, just so you can see what we're working on. I'm going to speak for everybody. We pride ourselves on going to as much training as we can, because if the library isn't led by a lifelong learner, the library won't teach lifelong learning. And that's what the library is. I've given you so much stuff. I'm not going to read all of it because everybody can read. Sorry. I love what I do, and sometimes I get a little too excited. My staff and we came up with a vision statement for our library, and it's something that we've been working on for probably since April. And this is the first time anybody outside of our little Millersville office gets to see it. Everybody on staff contributed to developing our vision statement. We are leaving the mission statement because there is one for the library that was set, I believe, by the board. So this is our personal vision statement, and I know everybody can see it, but I want to read it. I have no choice. The Millersville Public Library endeavors to promote the love of lifelong reading and learning through its innovative programming, robust and current collections, as well as current technology and resources. We strive to create opportunities for engagement that will meet the needs of our growing community in a welcoming and supportive environment. So I'm just really excited. It took us a long time to get this. It's just when you see something and you're like, oh wow, that sounds pretty good. We sound professional. I wanted to let y'all know what we've kind of done, completed projects, what we're working on, and what's coming. Here's a new word. We are currently at one of our ongoing projects that I did put down because I already framed it like twice, and I just felt like a waste of more paper. I'm currently in the middle of doing a website refresh. It hadn't been touched since Melissa. Probably. It's ongoing. I think all the fonts are finally the same. You know, but we're getting there. So if you come and look at our website, you'll notice changes.
That's UC more, I'm sorry. That's UC more, yeah.
And it's not the best program to use, but I've used one similar. It's not intuitive, but if you throw enough rocks at it, something will work. That was a joke. I don't throw rocks at computers. They're expensive. The rocks, not the computers. For our upcoming projects, I'm really excited. We've been invited by the elementary school in Millersville to go and participate in the Read Beneath the Stars at the end of the month. I know this is just supposed to be for August and July, but it's really exciting because I've been trying to get in with the school since I started, because it's such an important partnership. And then we're going to be participating in the Millersville Fall Festival on the last Saturday in September. We're going to be doing story times, library card sign-ups. We're having some books for our friends for a little book drive. It's going to be great. So that's just really exciting. And I kind of mentioned it nudge to Jackie, and I think I kind of mentioned it nudge to the directors about compiling our director report and getting it to the mayor and the county commissioners so they kind of know what's going on. It's something that was a great idea. One of the director trainings that we went to for the region, and I thought it was a great idea. Just something, a one-page, easy, compile all the info, send it out. I think it would be great. So we're going to try and work on that. It might be, that's why it's upcoming. Upcoming. I just heard some stuff while I was walking around the library from a couple of patrons. I just thought it was good. We're the hidden gem of the Sumner County library. Oh, absolutely. We have the best library. So I just wanted to give you a little recap of our budget. We we spent 85% of our budget, but as you'll see, the majority of that was in personnel. And I'm not sure if everybody knows, but you can't transfer money from personnel lines to other lines. So that married the two shall meet. We had a lot of turnover, and I refused to hire someone until I knew what I needed. And because I was able to take my time, I was able to change the open position into a children's assistant. And I had enough money to pay them the children's assistant pay, because I was able to see what the need actually was. But we spent only 4% of the budget remaining was in non-employee lines, which I think is great, considering I started in October. And I had flood, just in case anybody didn't know. We had a great summer reading. Millersville, as far as I know, has never done anything like that before. We had special guests every single week. It was fantastic. We had the science guys with their opening group. We had 70 people come. If you've been in our library, it was warm and tight, but we had blast. And the beekeeper, 75 people. Those were our newest, highest programs. And we were bursting at the seams, and it was fantastic. We had a movie and a lunch every Tuesday. We were able to provide lunch for 67 people in our community. We don't ask. We had food provided by donations from our community through our friends group, and we had food. And people came, and because we got such good donations for this lunch program we wanted to do, we've been able to keep our blessing box filled. That's something that Millersville's been doing for years, and it's something that is needed in our community, and it's something that I love that we can do, because everybody loves the library. We've added 4 new programs in August and September. We started a creative writing program. We have a published author as one of our staff members, and he's leading it on, and it looks like a lot of fun. I get to work the desk so he can do the project, so that's fine. The desk is fun, because then you get to meet people. We're trying a family movie matinee. We're just trying it. If you don't try, you'll never know. A Happy Artist Club, we've had a lot of feedback that people are wanting something for their older kids. And so this is an after-school program at 3, geared for ages 10 and up. And by our resident artist, our children's librarian happens to have an art degree. So, Andy, definitely not the only reason I hired her. And then we're starting an adult film. We're calling it a festival, but it's like you watch a movie and then you have a discussion about it. I don't know what else to call it because I'm not wordsmith, but we're trying that at the end of the month for the first time. And in October, we're going to be starting a book talk geared towards adults, and it's going to be thematic instead of based on a book. So the example I give is if the theme is mysteries, then everybody can come and talk about a mystery that they like, instead of we're in a book club that reads the same book and has a discussion. So this is more of like, okay, I like the Cam2 book. Somebody likes those murder mystery whodunit books, and then they all get to come and talk about why they like this book and that book. I've heard really great things. I'm really excited about it. Okay. I'm not going to go over because I've already talked too much. Sorry, y'all. You know, I have no show. This is just a comparison of July and August from last year to July and August this year. And we did better than they did last year. Our programs, we had fewer programs, but we still had more people in attendance. And then on the back of the page with the pictures is just a very brief breakdown of our summer reading numbers. How many people registered, how many logs we had, and how many minutes that broke down to. We had a summer reading survey, and 50% of the people that completed the survey said that they noticed a 50% improvement in their reading skills. And then just the boring numbers. But they're just pretty pictures. So with the numbers, and I'm happy to go over anything if anybody has any questions. Thank you. Oh, sorry, does anybody have any questions? Okay.
Thank you.
You're lovely.
Thank you, Amy.
I really like what I do.
Well, it's geared for adults. Okay. Okay, I'll change the word. Because it's definitely not that.
I think all the film.
Oh,
dear. Yeah. Yeah, that would definitely cause.
People would have shown up.
Thank you so much, Amy. Okay, Gabby?
So, we got our letter about our tech grant, and we're so excited. I got enough to get everything I wanted. It's a matching grant, and we got the majority of it. And I'll be buying printers and monitors and barcode scanners and backup batteries for my server. We also, the friends and I don't know if y'all heard of the Furrier family, but I've worked real close with Bill for a long time, and his family has left us a sizable donation to the Friendly Library, and they just kind of left the amount blank and asked us to create a project. And so we have figured out what we wanted. We have done bids. I've got pictures and notes in y'all's stuff. We have, for some reason, our building has a ton of storage space. We need people space, not storage space. And for our upstairs room that is, we have enabled it to be a bingo room, but it had concrete floors, it wasn't painted, it was meant to be storage. And with this grant, we are going to take the wall out that separates that from our adult nonfiction, and it will be a completely open space, because it's intimidating walking into a room that you can't see anybody out the door, people won't come in. They do come into an open room, they feel more invited, more welcome, and we're going to build a wall to separate our storage space, the little bit we need from the public. It is going to be like a makerspace, stream lab, art history lecture hall. We've got yoga teachers, we've got artists, we've got musicians, we've had some Ball State, some individuals that have already committed to teaching these classes. Because part of this donation is also a yearly stipend to pay teachers. To remove the wall, separate the current spaces, we're going to change out the ceiling tiles because it's storage space and it's ugly. And get new lighting because the lighting's terrible. When we got our carpet a couple of months ago, we went ahead and included that, so we've already gotten the flooring in there. It's hard floors that can like step up, not carpet like the rest of the building. It was approved for Curtis Construction. We have to go through them because they built our building, so we have to go through them first. But I don't know if I've always been told. So we did, and they ended up being the lowest bid anyway, and they know our building. They've done all of the remodels we've done. And he quoted it as a little bit under $71,000, and the Memorial Foundation has said that's fine. And then we're working with the Meta Group, and they're giving us a grant of $22,000 to get closet cabinet space in the whole space. So we will be able to put all the supplies and tools and materials. So this is just an insane project, and it's bigger than anything our library's done, and I'm really excited about it. We are also looking for furniture, and I think I've talked to Jim about it. We need movable furniture. The tables we have in there weigh about 4 tons each, and they're just not, you can't move them around to do what you want with the space, and we need it to be usable for a variety of things. So there's that, and our goal is to have it done by the end of the year. lifelong educator, and she's the mother of our current Gallatin mayor, but she passed away a few months ago. And we got an enormous amount of donations in her behalf, and we are doing a little library in her honor as one of the projects. And we're going to install it at E.D. Wilson because she started that program, and that was supposed to help young adults finish school, ones that had to go to work because they were broke or had kids. They do like hybrids and virtuals, like it was just a way to get people graduated. It's really, and she was the founding member of it. It was her idea, her investment. So we want to put this little library there, and because we do have such a generous community and we get so many book donations we can't keep up, we will never have a problem stocking those. Like we don't even have to say like, oh, can somebody help with this? It will be stocked to the ground. Like, it will be good. So we're going, and I want to invite y'all. We're going to have a ribbon cutting with the Chamber of Commerce. We're trying to make a huge event on October 10th at 3 o'clock. And it was really awesome. It's over there. Staffing, we've got 2 open positions, and we've been doing a lot of reevaluating. I've met with my staff quite a bit, and we're changing a few things around, and that kind of, I should have put the mobile library up there with it. We let go the lady that was driving our mobile library van, and we are parking it for the rest of the year. It is not being used to its full potential, and I think we've been kind of wasting staffing hours on it. I think it can be better used, but we need to evaluate it, and we're going to some of the big places that we promised that we feel like really need us. So she'll go into those, and it gets done and people like it. So that's what we're planning to restart in January, visiting places. We also have a lot of events coming up. I kind of went forward instead of talking about summer. So the Main Street Festival is October 7th. If y'all never been to that in Gallatin, it is insanely wonderful, fun. We set up tables out front and advertise all of our programs, and people who've never stepped foot in the library see a big poster and oh, y'all want a book. So it really works well for us, and we just enjoy it because we love the people. And the food truck. Trick or Treat on the Square is coming up October 31st. It's kind of geared towards the 5 and under group, so they're out of school and not run over by big kids. We plan for at least 1,000 people, kids, every year. The Chamber's actually planning for 1,500 this year. We don't have that much money. But we also, in the past, we've had people volunteer and help us hand out the stuff. We've had commissioners and board members and just volunteers throughout the community, and it's just really fun being all those kids for a couple of hours and giving them a little treat. So if any of you want to volunteer to help hand out candy, my staff is super creative and we dress up. We go hard. The other thing I want to make sure that y'all have on your calendars, and I would love for y'all to come, and several of you came last year, is our Christmas open house. And it's going to be bigger and better than it's ever been, because that's what I have to say. The Chamber of Commerce has asked me to join the Holiday Planning Committee, and they are helping us rephrase and re-advertise and grow and giving us all the resources to really grow this open house and try to get as many people from the community to see what an asset the library is. So that's been really exciting, but it is December 7th, we'll also have Santa Claus there. December 7th from 5 to 7, and I would love to see y'all there. The last thing I want to talk about is our carpet. The upstairs is done, and it's beautiful, and there's pictures in there, and it's the prettiest building fence that's in there. And we are working on the children's carpet. Commissioner Klein and Commissioner Boyd have spent a lot of time battling for us in all the committees and all of the stuff, and Carrie really summarized it well on what steps we're waiting on, so I included her steps in this packet. So we're still hoping by the end of the year we have it in the children's library, because it is a hazard. And that's all I have, unless y'all you need to know the details or something.
And I did get a text or email from somebody saying they were gonna reach out to me so I could, help you or go with you or whatever, Somebody on the budget committee said, reached out to me, commission, but they reached out to me and said, get with Gabby, and then if I need to back you up, I'll be
Well,
glad.
Curtis went ahead, they needed another quote by Monday night. And so Curtis Construction came in and, even though we were closed, they measured and they gave us a quote, which I also included in that, so you don't know what we're trying to get. Not Curtis, I'm so sorry, Joey Carpet, they're the ones who did it upstairs, and they did a fabulous job. Because there was a major headache and nothing worked out there, those two, and, thankfully we had trustees and maintenance men and staff, because we learned a lot. And they know now what kind of project they're looking at in the children's library, so we have a very realistic quote here.
Thank you, Gabby. Anita?
Mine is the purple one. Purple. I have purple.
I represented today.
That's right. First of all, I would like to thank Joanna, Jackie, and Beverly for being there yesterday. As Gabby said, we did get our awards for our tech grant. And since you guys showed up, that definitely helps. We did get everything. I got everything approved except for like 10%, and that is based on how many trustees actually go through the program. So, yeah. Please show us every time you can. I'm not going to go over all of this and everything. You guys can see it and go over it yourself. I do want to say thank you to Alicia because of Hendersonville, her sharing. We have 2 new puppets at Portland. And I love puppets. They're one of those things where you just capture a kid's attention with a puppet. So we do have a new puppet. Ours is the little dog in the middle, and our kids just named him Puddles. Oh. Because he makes puddles and he's from Portland. His name is Puddles. I didn't think about it, but Amy kind of reminded me of everything, just to give you an update for last year's budget and everything. I think we finished at 94%, which is great and everything, so I think we're right on track again for this year. So far, right now, as at the end of August, our budget was at 15.4%, which is usually right on target for those couple of months and everything. September, I did kind of jump ahead a little bit. September is our sign up for a library card month. Anybody that comes into the Portland Library and signs up for a new library card gets a book bag. We have 2 different kinds that they could choose from, and I would have brought you one, but I'm saving them all for the people that are. If we have leftovers, I'll bring some next time and everything. But yeah, really cool book bags that they can pick from and everything. Friends of our library auction is coming up. It's going to be October the 24th through November the 11th. If you guys are in the area and everything, please stop by and do some Christmas shopping. We usually have all kinds of donations from local businesses and everything, and it's one of our major events for our friends of the library. That's what basically, supports all of our programs throughout the year and our summer reading for sure. The last thing that I'm going to bring up or whatever is Linda just reminded me when I left. For those of you that don't know Miss Linda, she is, I guess, the longest tenured library employee in Sumner County. She's been with us for 27 years. She is super excited because she is going to move some things around her area. She has never done that before in the whole time that she's been here. She's always been told how things are supposed to be or whatever. She came to me one day and she said, "Do you mind if I move these shelves over here?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, sure." And she was thinking it'll work better for the kids and everything. So she's super excited for that and everything. So that's all I got. Anybody got any questions, any comments? Any attaboys?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I'm going to talk to Lauren.
Okay. Thank you, Gabby. I was Lauren.
I was here late, minor emergency on the drive here, nothing severe. Being a mom and driving down the road is always an exciting time, and I had to stop at my sister's house to get a change of clothes, and I would have been here 20 minutes earlier, but there you go. My report was much smaller this month than it typically is. President, sorry. That's all right, yeah, I'm sorry, Susie. I just have to. So the first page, that when you open it up, it's got the little rectangles. That's just, thank you. It's just got the programming. So in August, we hosted 21 programs. And I've just got August on this. July and June, I had smushed together, and I gave that out at the August meeting. There's just kind of special calls. If you don't need a copy of that, just let me know. But in August, we had 21 programs. We averaged about 10 people at each program. Some programs had like 1 or 2, and then all our story times and homeschool groups, that's usually like a big, larger group. We had nearly 800 visitors through our doors. We had a big collection growth, circulated a lot of items through physical items and also through reads. I usually include a lot more information. This month coming back to work has been a whirlwind, getting everything back and lined up, making sure budget's on track, making sure staff is good. I lost 2 staff members, so I've got 2 new staff members hired. We've got PLI, we've got grants that we're working on. We got our tech grant as well, so we've got continuous monitors, battery backups that were coming in. So my report's not as pretty as it was. I promise the next time we meet it will be better. Amy really showed me up, and
Well, I saw hers, and I said, I have to do that as well.
I usually like to have a whole lot of stuff going on. In the future will be better. On this page right here, just a couple of fun things going on. Go to PLI, I know y'all talked about that earlier. It's just a little bit of information on what it is. And then also next week is the ORSL Conference, which is the Association for Rural and Small Libraries. It's a national association. They host a conference each fall, national conference. Actually presenting a session there. So super nervous, super excited. It's going to be about homeschooling and the necessity for homeschool programs within the library. I know a lot of homeschool people. My degree is in early childhood education. A big advocate. I don't care which type of education you choose, which type you choose, as long as you are doing it rightly and your kids are getting accurate information, making sure that they have community. And a lot of people talk about like homeschool kids are weird. They don't have community, and it's not the truth. They're actually much more socially adept than a lot of people realize. But just making sure that they have good leadership, they have someone they can turn to that's besides just their parents. And some people don't think they have regular schools necessarily. So it's just, that's something that's close to my heart. I started the homeschool group August of last year, and it's been one of our biggest things. So I'm getting improvement on that and the importance of it next week. Caitlin from the region is also going to be there for Cecilia's assistant. It's going to be great. And I say a lot, apparently, today. And then the last page is just our August statistics. And if y'all have any questions at all, let me know.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, now, Alicia.
So, because they made such amazing full reports, I knew you were going to have a lot of reading, so I don't have anything today. It's actually in my dumpster, which got thrown 10 minutes before the door, and I was in the dumpster. So y'all get everything in your email tomorrow. I do have one little copy of my August stats that got shoved into my bag, and I hope this one is the right one. So, as far as programs, we have a total of 54 programs currently running. In our program attendance, we have 1,207. Our events that occur within our library and our different meeting rooms, we had 26 for August with 754 attendees. A lot of those were for our recent reintroduction to Kurt Cameron and the Brave Books thing. I'm happy to report that one went off without a hitch, so y'all didn't see anything in the papers this time. All we made in the papers for this month was the blessing box that we got. Thanks to Amy, we started researching it and had somebody willing to do one. Our blessing box, at first, we had some community members mention that Hendersonville wouldn't need something like that. So I'm happy to say that Hendersonville does need something like that. The volunteer who is stocking it has to stock it every single day.
Wow.
And we have 3 closets completely full of diapers, wipes, clothing, hygiene items, food, brand new car seats, and tickets that people can pick up and reimburse at the front desk for formula. So that has gone over a lot better than what we expected. We're not having to do anything with that, just being there. So let's see what else. We are completely fully staffed. I did have to let 2 people go and have replaced. We have 1 team librarian and a assistant team librarian at this point because we're averaging 35. And we keep that team room open all day, every day now. So on one side are directed programs, and on the other side is more of a casual, they can sit down and color or anything else. We've also started a I Need bag, and it's a little paper bag that has either hygiene products for a female or hygiene products for a male, as well as like pens, pencils, things like that. They don't have to say anything to us. They just go pick up an I Need bag, and they can take it home, and that kind of fills in some gaps that they're embarrassed to ask for, or maybe they can't get. We started a preteen program, and it has, for some reason, hide and seek in the park. They thought that was a great idea. So we'll see how that goes. They're also going to be playing chess and bingo and all other sorts of things. With our passive activities, which is kind of what I'm talking about, with scavenger hunts and things like that, last month we only had 3, but our attendance was 2,449. So that's a whole lot of kids running around the library looking for things, and they keep it done every day, something new and different. Coming up, we're going to be doing a fall festival in our parking lot in November, and then in December, on December the 4th, and this is, which I'll invite to everything, we're going to have a formal art crawl and musician show. Ooh. We have reached out to several professional musicians who have accepted, and they will be providing music from 5 to 7:30, and all day long there will be art displayed all over the library. So children's art, they can go in the children's department, see little easels set up, and we're asking people to be as formal as possible because we really want to support the youth. And yes, they just got the graphic done today, and one of my main ones, I'm stealing one of your Portland people. Have you met the violinist? Okay. You have a 16-year-old prodigy violinist in Portland, and they're playing at the library, so grab them. Yeah. So we're looking forward to these things. The past month has been very interesting at our library as we've had our HVAC completely go out. To the point that it was about 90 in the building at all times. We had a leak from the top floor into the teen room, which destroyed a lot of furniture and TV and things like that. Then we had, our internet went out for 3 days, not happy patrons. Our phones went down, not happy staff. Our elevator has gone down. It's awful right now. You're trying to be cooler than me. Hey, at least the floods took out a TV. Not the good books. So we're still slowly making progress each month, increasing things. All my new staff members have really special skills. So we've got people who have 4 or 5 languages. So there's a German club that started up. For some reason, teenagers really like Dungeons and Dragons, so we've started up one of those and actually have to run 3 of those now, 3 different spots in the week because of so many in attendance. Because we had so many in attendance, we have also offered it virtually, and we have 42 people who are signed up virtually to attend, and I have no idea whether they're actually on the screen or not. But my team librarians tell me they are participating, so it got huge. And I think that's pretty much it. I could do much better if I had my report in front of me.
When did you say your fall?
We are working on getting that scheduled. We have a lot of community partners who are wanting to come in and just donate time, talent, and other things, whether it's face painting or bouncy houses or whatever else, and we're just trying to pin that one down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Atta girl. Atta girl. Good job. All right. Now, Miss Cecilia.
Okay, I won't take long. So, starting out, maintenance of effort, just, is it out being
I
circulated?
have it right
Actually,
now, I'm going to the city manager,
But it's
Tuesday and the mayor,
Okay.
Tuesday to get them to sign it, and then I'll get it to Lucia to get Hendersonville to sign it, and then it'll get back to
It'll get back to me to get Jackie, and then it'll end with me, as far as,
And thank you, Nita, for.
I'm happy if anybody wants to listen to what it looks like, I wrote it.
Perfect. I appreciate it, and I appreciate Anita specifically because you really paid attention to it and saw that there were some numbers missing, so I appreciate that. The library board appointment form, I have this in my office, and I keep track of who's coming on, who's going off, when, and it's actually quite an important document, but it's hard to keep up with. Now it's definitely not updated, because of all the changes that I've seen. So I'm hoping to actually talk to you about some of these things and see if we can figure it out. Usually what we try to aim for is that people go off at the end of June, come back on, or come on July 1st, and you can kind of make sure you have a full board at all times. That's out the window for this board at this very moment. So I'm going to hopefully have a chat at some point with Stephen, see if we can figure out some dates that will work for you so we can move forward with that. So that's something I'm just so happy that all these guys are doing PLMI. It's kind of a big deal. A lot of people applied, a lot of people didn't get in. So that they got accepted, that's great. And I know it's going to take some time, and I know you have put down that, in November it's the first week, so it's an intense week, and they will have another week next September. So I'm excited about that. I think Amy had already printed out the training calendar, so that's already happening, and I appreciate you guys for being at the Trustee Workshop yesterday. It really means a lot, and it also means, as you know, for the Tech Brand Award, it's going to mean that they probably going to get some money again next year, which is a good thing. You're fine. I'm just joking. I think that's about it. I also would like to be at your committee meeting when you talk about the library service agreement.
Okay.
If I can.
Okay. Just remember, to include you on the email when it goes out. And or if it comes to me, I'll forward it to you. So we'll do that. All right. I think we've covered everything in an hour and a half. That's pretty good for us. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I just have a quick question, sorry. Quick question.
Okay.
Is about the date for that.
For this one,
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
you and I had a chat about it on this one.
Yeah, so is it just,
Well, it's
what
really just for us to keep track of when people are supposed to go off.
okay.
And
Is yours not right? Or
Well, I had talked to her and there was some wrong dates. And I had talked to her and I had to go back and get some notes from the commissioners.
Yeah.
And we had to get them corrected, so I was just curious.
And I'm missing some dates for, just for the 3 new ones when they came on. So I just need to, if you have those dates, I'll talk to you about that.
Okay.
And then
They're in
it's
the
still
commission.
missing Bruce Carter. His spot is still open, which is, I know you're aware of that. And now losing Ruth and Diane. So
Yes.
it's just, I just want to keep an eye on this one to make sure that we know what's happening with the different people.
And those are supposed to be updated on the website as well.
Yeah, so this is what we keep in our office, and then you can either use this one or have your own. But yeah, so you probably keep it on your website too, probably. But that's not.
I don't have a copy of that, but if you could see it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay.
Okay. All right, now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Beth. Second.